Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this is In the Style of a Gary Moore, Part 1, the 1980s. Alright, so that was a medley of Gary Moore's End of the World from Corridors of Power album. It's kind of the intro of the song, which is kind of his signature, at least in the 80s, a little bit like his eruption, if you will. And then the medley continued with Out in the Fields, which was a single he released in '85 with Phil Lynott. And if I remember correct, the song appeared later on Gary's Run for Cover album. So, Gary Moore, one of my absolutely all-time favorite players. I was a fan of Eddie Van Halen's before I even started to play guitar. Gary's Wild Frontier was one of my first albums I ever bought as a kid. And my favorite song was The Loner on that album. The instrumental track, even though I didn't play guitar, no idea, I just loved the song, I still do. We'll get into that later. But yeah, so this is about his 80s career, kind of metal career. In part 2 I will focus more on the blues stuff, and let's first talk about the gear a bit. So yes, Joshua Renshaw, Gary Moore expert, if you will, helped me with this video and especially about Gary's gear. So here what I have, a picture somewhere, Gary's 89 rig. As you can see, there's quite a few plexis, and what I have now is a 97X, the reissue of the 50-watt plexi. And Joshua wrote me, this was Gary's after the war tour rig in 1989. Through most of the 80s, he used a Marshall of some sort and Ibanez TS10 tube screamer. What I have now is a JHS Bonsai, fantastic Swiss army of tube screamers, and I have TS10 there selected. Level 4 o'clock, gain around 8, tone 1 o'clock. Good for boosting plexi. The rack effects are Roland SD 3000, Roland SDD 320, which is Dimension D, like chorus pitch shift style of thing, and Roland Chorus Echo SRE 555 and Alice's MIDI Reverb 2, and are the ones hooked up to foot pedals so we could switch them off and on. And so you can see also from the picture Jackson guitars, EMG pickups. What I have now here is my Musa Maailma, Finnish music store, fantastic store. They're custom-made Tokai. For me, EMG 85X, and I don't remember what this is. It's not 85 because you can split it. I think it's 89 or 60, whatever, that you can make a single coil out of it. So yeah, active pickups, Jackson guitars, and at some point he had like Strat style with only one EMG pickup. So what I have now going on and what I had in the song, I was trying to kind of mimic his tone. So the guitar, then the pedal board where I had the TS10, and after that is ISP decimator to get rid of the hiss. Then to plexi, and I have Cubase where I'm recording this, and I have added there a like stereo delay, pitch shift and reverb. Kind of this wide sound, because during the 80s, reverbs and delays and a little bit chorus was really, used a lot, and so did Gary too. As you saw from the picture, lots of reverbs and chorus and stuff. Yeah, I forgot to mention where the signal goes from the plexi. So it goes to the Sir reactive load, where I have my signature IR called Valovirta. It's great all around IR. Mesa oversized cab and V30s and a couple of microphones were used to capture that. And from the Sir, that's from Jens Bukre's Leading Clean Pack. From the Sir it goes to this Steinberg UR816C audio interface, and then the signal goes to Cubase where I'm recording the guitar. This microphone is recording my voice. So yeah, the 80s metal era, so to say. The intro, so it's kind of classic Gary Moore. There's like core elements of his playing. So it starts with the E minor scale like. And his playing was really aggressive, really like commanded the guitar like. playing, I just kind of improvised. But anyway, it's like hammer also played really with like, not like, but what basically he's doing is and then he just continues down the scale. And then it continues with another classic arpeggio, which Gary uses a lot. Major 7, so. So it's a C major 7 and B major 7. Again played with like, you know, fierce. So slowly it's classic 4-note arpeggio. Then the same, it's just octave higher. Then comes this, what I love about Gary's playing, that you don't always have to be, you know, so precise and stuff. You can go wild, so the ending is just something like. So basically, a blue note. And he bends it 1.5 steps from B to E. Sorry, D. And then comes this kind of like rounded roads. It's basically like E minor. But it's like there's like these neighboring notes. So, and it goes in 4th. So slowly. And he always ends these phrases like not on E, which is the root note, except the first one ends with E, and then you know it's different, like D and so on, and this ends like F sharp, so it creates a tension, and then it's something really fast, but I think it's just a E minor scale. And then comes this kind of like chromatic thing, like. And then. Again, bend, 1.5 step bend. So slowly it's like. Something like that. You play it with really like you mean it. But then the song kicks in, there comes this kind of like pentatonic blues scale bass with. And so on. And then Out in the Fields. Another great example. The intro lick is classic, because Gary likes to, or you know, bless him, bend the notes. It's because let me show you. Just the notes played like this. It's like kind of down keyboard, but he bends. And he does that a lot. So first it's like half step bend. And this is nail those bends and the vibrato and the feel. It's actually a lot harder than play any of that fast, flashy stuff, at least in my opinion. And to make it sound good, that's, I think, what separates playing guitar from actually being a guitar player. You know, so yeah. Fantastic. And then the song structure is a lot what Gary used 80s, kind of chord based, and then, you know, basic palm muting power chords. And then the section before the solo, that's actually keyboard what I played. I think it's also guitar, but that's kind of cool because this lick, I think, at least, well, I picked that because I've used that on a few times on my forthcoming second solo album's first single, Bad Boy. That's like Gary Moore. And another one of my favorites, John Sykes, uses this a lot. And I think John was quite a lot influenced by Gary because you can hear the, you know, like, I guess you can hear that on my playing too. It's like fifth chords, but you play them with these kind of arpeggio things. So then the solo, it's D, and then it's harmonic from the seventh. And the solo is another good example, I think, of Gary's playing melodic stuff, and then this really fast kind of like lick that goes up. I could have played it a little bit better on the song, but you know, it was okay. I didn't find the need to do another take. So, but anyway, it starts like. Or something. I mean, it's kind of this intro lick. I've heard some live versions. Gary has played it a bit differently. And then comes this palm muted. This is really genius. It starts on the D. And then comes this really fast. I think it goes like this because it's so fast and palm muted. But since this is in the key of D minor, I think it's just up D minor scale in fourths, like. It's really cool, and sometimes I've heard Gary play it like that he doesn't pick everything, but he plays like. That's actually a bit easier because that way, at least to me, the picking movement is. It's hard to explain, but I find it. But on the intro song, I picked everything like. You can play it like. But the idea is just to kind of climb the D minor scale in fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, great example. And then like really powerful bend and vibrato, really Gary Moore. Amazing. And the loner I mentioned earlier, that's a great example, again, what separates playing guitar or being a guitar player. Because let me play it a little bit, so, and then I'll explain. It's amazing, because you can play it like but the way it feels so emotional and present, and actually that someone is singing, because Gary bends these notes to their right. First it's half the bend from here, and you go. So it's really good, and then this, again half step bend. You know, if you bend it sharp, it sounds. So it's really this, to make this sound good. It's hard, and that separates, you know, many players. That's just fantastic. Gary Moore. You can feel when he plays, actually, like he means it. And if you check out some videos from YouTube or listen to the album, it feels like he plays like he would die after the song finishes. And that's what I try to do. Just put your heart into it. If the notes aren't like, you know, the scratches and everything, and just make sure that the bends are okay, and do a vibrato. Play like it's your last time of playing, like you really mean it. I love that about Gary Moore, and he's a great songwriter and vocalist too. Check out him, a fantastic player. And on part 2, I will focus more of his blues playing, because if I've understood correct, he started as a blues player. Then the 80s was kind of his metal era, where he, you know, used whammy bars and active pickups and strat style guitars. And then early 90s, you know, still got the blues. Then he went back to his roots, and for the rest of his life, unfortunately, career, he basically played blues. But man, the way he played that. But that's on part 2. Hey, thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative, and maybe got some tips to your playing. If you like this, please thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, take care. Bye.